Minasan, konnichiwa. Hey friends, how are you? Welcome to Saral Japani YouTube channel. This is a place where we discuss about Japan, Japanese language, and the Japanese culture. This is the series called Japanese Lessons for Beginners. Today's lesson is lesson number 93 of this series. You might remember in one of our recent lessons, we had discussed about ishshoni, which means together. So today we are going to extend that concept and we will discuss what to ishshoni means. In this context, we will look at the difference between A to B wa C to ishshoni and A wa B to C to ishshoni. So let's see what are all these things. So since today's lesson will revolve around the concepts that we have learned in our previous lessons, especially from lesson 89 onwards. So let's have a quick recap of those lessons so as to set the context for today's lesson. In lesson 89, we learned about how a verb is integrated with masenka. So if we say we plus masenka, then that means, would you like to be with me? For example, if the verb is iku, then we can say ikimasenka. That means, would you like to go with me? Ikimas is going and ikimasenka means, would you like to go with me? In lesson 90, likewise, we discussed about verb plus masho. So that means let's do we. That is, whatever is the verb, let's do it. So for example, if we say again the same thing, ikimasho means let's go, or tabemasho, let's eat. Then in lesson 91, we learned another concept in which a noun, which is basically a purpose, is connected to the motion verb using the ni particle. For example, yamanobori ni ikimasu. That means mountaineering. Yamanobori is mountaineering. Ni ikimasu. That means going for mountaineering. So Ving for P. So that means the motion verb for the purpose, or if in this example, going for mountaineering. So yamanobori ni ikimasu. Now, these were the lessons that we learned. Now, if in all these lessons we add ishshoni, which we had already done in one of these lessons. So ishshoni means together. So then what will all these become? So in lesson 89, if we add ishshoni plus verb plus masenka, then would you like to be with me will become, would you like to be together? Similarly, ishshoni plus verb plus masho will become, let's do we together. So instead of let's do we, it will become let's do we together. And lesson 91, ishshoni plus the noun purpose plus ni particle plus motion verb plus masho or masenka will give us let's go for P together, or would you like to go for P together? So if it is masenka, then it's a interrogative form. So it will become would you like to go for P together? Or if it is masho, then let's go for P together. So together is the additional word that gets added whenever we use ishshoni. So ishshoni is nothing but doing something together. That is two persons or multiple persons are doing something together. So with that, let's move ahead. So again, ishsho is the word which means together, and it is an adverb as we know. And ishsho is made up of ichi and cho, where ichi means one as you all know, and cho means a string or a knot. So that means something tied together. So from there this meaning has been derived. So this is the basic or the background of from where this ishsho word or this kanji has come. So these examples we have seen last lesson also. Ishshoni gohan o tabemasen ka? Would you like to have a meal with me? Ishshoni gohan o tabemashou. Let's have a meal together. So this we had learned in the last lesson. Now similarly, ishshoni yamanobori ni ikimashou. It means let's go for mountain climbing or trekking together. Ikimashou, let's go. Ishshoni natsu yasumi ni ikimashou. Let's go on summer vacation together. Natsu yasumi is summer vacation. And similarly, ishshoni boringo ni ikimasho. Let's go bowling together. Let's go for bowling. So bowling is that sport. So, and if we say ishshoni boringo ni ikimasen ka, that means shall we go for bowling? So in that will be the question, or more precisely, would you like to go bowling with me? Would you like to go for bowling with me? So now let's look at something new now. So this is from here our new concepts of today's lesson begins. So if we say ishshoni oite kudasai, ishshoni oite kudasai, as it is written here, ishshoni oite kudasai. That means please put together. So ishshoni is together, oite means to put, this is a verb, and kudasai is please, as we all know. So putting something together. So if now we add a noun, which is basically a thing, before ishshoni and connect it using the o particle, so it will be connected by o particle with the verb because this is a thing. So please put together becomes please put n together, where n is that thing. So using this sentence or this arrangement of phrases, we can have different sentences. For example, if we want to say please put together the newspaper in Japanese, then how would we say? So putting together the newspaper means the pages of the newspaper are unloosened, are loosened, I'm sorry, and those needs to be gathered together, or those need to be put together in shape or in place. So how do we say that in Japanese? Shinbun o ishsho ni oite kudasai. Shinbun means newspaper, and o is the particle followed by ishsho ni oite kudasai. That means please put together the newspaper, or please put the newspaper together. Shinbun o ishsho ni oite kudasai. So oite kudasai means please put, and oite comes from the root verb oku. Oku means to put or to place something or to leave behind. So it can be used to represent each of these in different contexts. So it depends on where we are using this verb. Accordingly, its meaning will slightly differ, like three kinds of meanings it may give: to put, to place, or to leave behind. So from this root verb oku, oite has come. So there is another way to express this, which is shinbu no ishsho ni shite kudasai. Shite kudasai is again another verb. Shite means please do. Shite kudasai means please do, and shite, it's very basic thing. Suru. You must have heard about the verb suru, which means to do, and from suru we get shimas as well. Shimas, shimasen, shimasen deshta, shimashita. So that is from suru, and shite is again the informal version of the same verb. So shinbu no ishsho ni shite kudasai means please do the newspaper together. So here, although the literal meaning is please do the newspaper together, but it doesn't make any sense, isn't it? So the meaning is basically the same, that please put together the newspaper. So both oite kudasai and shite kudasai are used for this particular example. So that's the reason why we touched upon both these. But our main focus is on ishshoni as per the topic of this lesson. So ishshoni shimasho. So again, the word root verb is suru, shite, and now shimasho. So shimasho, as you have already learned, when we have masho at the end, that means let's do that. So shimasho means let's do, and ishshoni means together. So ishshoni shimasho means let's do it together. Similarly, ryoko ni ishshoni ikimasho ka. That means now shall we go on a trip together? Ryoko is trip. Now ikimasho ka. If it is ikimasho, that means let's go. And if it is the interrogative form ikimasho ka, then let's go becomes shall we go. So this is how the interrogatory form comes. So ryoko is trip, ishshoni ikimashoka? Shall we go on a trip together? And if we say Ryoko ni ishshoni ikimasho, that means let's go on a trip together. Ryoko ni ishshoni ikimasho, let's go on a trip together. Ryoko ni ishshoni ikimashoka? Shall we go on a trip together? Now, a very, very important example. Karera wa nakayoku ishshoni kurashimashita. Now, there are several concepts in this sentence which we have. Some of these we have already touched upon in our previous lessons. Karera means they. Kare means he. Karera means they when they represents men. Now, if it is a lady, then kanojo. And if there are many women, then kanojora. So from there, we have this karera means they. So we have learned this concept when we discussed about singular and plural in one of our past lessons. So please visit the playlist section of this channel and search for that lesson. So, and if needed, you can watch that video to understand the meaning of, to understand the different usages of singular and plural in Japanese. Karera wa nakayoku ishshoni kurashimashita. The meaning is they live together happily. So now let's look at it part by part. Karerawa means they. Nakayoku means happily. This is an adverb. Ishshoni is together. Kurashimashita is lived. So kurashimas means live, to live. And kurashimashita is the past tense form. So lived. So they lived together happily. So in this, Karerawa ishshoni kurashimashita is they lived together. Karerawa ishshoni kurashimashita means they lived together. And we add this adverb nakayoku, then it becomes happily. So nakayoku is an adverb which means on good terms with, on friendly terms with, getting along well, in harmony, happily, peacefully. So as we say, they lived thereafter happily. So this is that expression to express happily or peacefully. So this is the nakayoku. So karera wa nakayoku ishshoni kurashimashita. So we are going through different kinds of examples where ishshoni may be used. Karera wa nakayoku ishshoni kurashimashita. They lived thereafter. They lived together happily or on good terms. Now, the new concept that we are introducing today with ishshoni, which is to ishshoni. So ishshoni means together. Then what does to ishshoni means? To ishshoni means together with. That means doing something together with someone. To ishshoni indicates that a work is being done together with someone. So how does this imply in a sentence? So if we say P wa B to ishshoni pie ikimasu, then that would mean A is going with B to P. A wa B to ishshoni pie ikimasu. A is going with B to P. The another version will be A wa B to ishshoni N o shimasu. So this is doing something. So A is doing N with B. So N is the thing that A is doing, but with whom he is doing? He is doing with B. So to ishshoni is following whoever person, the other person is doing that thing with that person. This is basically the meaning. So A wa B to ishshoni means A with B, and B wa A to ishshoni means B is doing something with A. So this is how the structure of the sentences will differ depending on who is doing what with whom. So let's now look at few examples. The first one is Tanaka-san wa Suzuki-san to ishshoni eiga o mimasu. So this is a simple one. We have been using these words quite a lot in the last few lessons. Eiga means film or movie, and mimas is the verb for to watch. So watching film. So Tanaka-san wa Suzuki-san to ishshoni eiga o mimasu means Tanaka-san will watch a movie with Suzuki-san, or Tanaka-san is watching a movie with Suzuki-san. Since to ishshoni appears after Suzuki-san, that means it is Suzuki-san with whom someone else is watching something. So This is very, very important concept that to ishshoni appears after whichever person's name. So the other person who is Tanaka-san here, he is doing something with this person after whose name to ishshoni appears. So Tanaka-san wa Suzuki-san to ishshoni eiga o mimasu implies Tanaka-san watches a movie with Suzuki-san. Similarly, Tanaka-san wa Suzuki-san to ishshoni picnic e ikimasu. Now, this was eiga o mimasu. Now, picnic e ikimasu. That means picnic. Tanaka-san will go on a picnic with Suzuki-san. One more. Watashi wa kodomo to ishshoni koen e ikimasu. Now, this is on self. So, I go to the park with my children. Kodomo is children. So, watashi wa kodomo to ishshoni koen e ikimasu. Koen is park. Very, very simple examples, but it will definitely clear your concepts. Now let's look at few more scenarios. This is a very simple sentence. A wa nihon e ikimasu. That means A is going to Japan. So in this sentence, A is alone. A is alone going somewhere. There is no other person. So this is a very generic statement. A is the topic of this sentence. So it is followed by the wa particle, which is the topic marker. Next is A to B wa nihon e ikimasu. Now we already know that to particle is used for and, to represent and. That means A to B means A and B. So the meaning of this sentence will be A and B are going to Japan. A to B wa nihon e ikimasu. A and B are going to Japan. So the to particle directly translates to and. Then we have A to B wa C to ishshoni nihon e ikimasu. Now this is another level advanced. A to B means A and B. This is the same. So just follow the color coding that we have used. So A to B remains the same. That is A and B. Wa. That means A and B will, or A and B are. C to ishshoni nihon e ikimasu. That means A and B are going to Japan with C. So this is very, very important to understand the concept. So A to B means A and B. And if the wa particle follows, that means this becomes the topic. So here the topic ends. A to B, A and B is the topic. So it will be followed by the is or are. That is A to B, A and B are. Then it will be C to ishshoni nihon e ikimasu. So A and B are going to Japan with C, because C is followed by to ishshoni. So to ishshoni is related to C. That means together with C. A and B are going to Japan together with C. To ishshoni means together with. And if we now say A wa B to C to ishshoni nihon e ikimasu, then what will happen? So since wa particle has appeared after A, that means A is the topic here. So A is the only person who is the topic of this sentence. So who is going? A is going, because A is the topic. So B and C are in supporting role. A is the main topic. So A wa nihon e ikimasu. A is going to Japan. But what, with whom? B to C. He is going with B and C. So A with B and C. A is going to Japan with B and C, because wa particle is followed by B, and between B and C there is to particle, and after C there is to ishshoni. So C here, the B to C, this completely gets connected with to ishshoni. So that's why we have used a bracket here. So just to indicate that this to ishshoni is applied to the combination of B and C. So this is kind of mathematics, isn't it? So this is like the set theory of mathematics, where we talk about intersections, unions and all. So this follows a similar concept in Japanese grammar. So A to B wa C to ishshoni nihon he ikimasu means A and B with C are going to Japan, and A wa B to C to ishshoni nihon he ikimasu means A with B and C is going to Japan. A along with B and C is going to Japan. So this is how this concept is established. So now let's look at some examples. The first sentence is Mr. Abe went to the market together with Mr. Honda and Mr. Motohiro. So now it is time for you to translate this sentence into Japanese using the concept that we have just learned. Can you please try, friends? Mr. Abe went to the market together with Mr. Honda and Mr. Motohiro. So market is Ichiba. If I give you a hint, market is Ichiba. So Mr. Abe went to the market. It will be Abe-san Ichiba e ikimashita. Mr. Abe went to the market. If we translate this portion into Japanese, will be Abe-san wa Ichiba e ikimashita. Now extending it to incorporate with together with Mr. Honda and Mr. Motohiro. So what will be the sentence? Abe-san wa, so Abe-san wa Ichiba e ikimashita, and in between it will come Abe-san wa Honda-san to Motohiro-san to ishshoni Ichiba e ikimashita. Honda-san to Motohiro-san to ishshoni. So Abe-san wa Honda-san to Motohiro-san to ishshoni Ichiba e ikimashita. Mr. Abe went to the market together with Mr. Honda and Mr. Motohiro. Another example. Miss Mariko and Miss Momoko are eating lunch with Mr. Tanaka. Can you please try translating this into Japanese using to ishshoni? Mariko-san to Momoko-san wa Tanaka-san to ishshoni hiru gohan o tabemasu. So now the topic is Miss Mariko and Miss Momoko. That means Mariko-san to Momoko-san. After that wa particle will come. So this will be the topic of this sentence and followed by the rest of the things. So since lunch is being eaten with Mr. Tanaka, that means before to ishshoni Tanaka-san will come. So Mariko-san to Momoko-san wa Tanaka-san to ishshoni hiru gohan o tabemasu. Hiru gohan means lunch. So hiru is noon. Hiru is used to represent noon. He is the sun, and hiru gohan is midday meal or lunch. Yesterday I came from Tokyo together with Mr. Suzuki and Mr. Takahashi. So I returned from Tokyo yesterday with Suzuki-san and Takahashi-san. So how to write this in Japanese? Kino. Kino wa Suzuki-san to Takahashi-san to ishshoni Tokyo kara kimashita. So there can be another version. Kino watashi wa Suzuki-san to Takahashi-san to ishshoni Tokyo kara kimashita. So look at the difference between the two sentences. Here we did not use watashi because this is implied. If we don't say watashi, it implies that the whoever is telling that sentence, whoever is speaking that sentence, the speaker is represented by default. So there is no need of writing watashi. So that's why kino is the topic in this sentence and it is followed by the wa particle. So kino wa Suzuki-san to Takahashi-san to ishshoni, because it is together with Suzuki and Takahashi. So Suzuki-san to Takahashi-san will be in bracket. This is the complete portion which will be connected with to ishshoni, and Tokyo kara kimashita because came from Tokyo. So for from we will use kara. Kimashita is came. Kino wa Suzuki-san to Takahashi-san to ishshoni Tokyo kara kimashita. Now the same sentence, if we want to explicitly tell that it's me who returned back, so we can use watashi as well. But in that case, kino will not be followed by wa, but watashi will be followed by wa, because now this becomes the watashi becomes the topic of this sentence. So kino watashi wa Suzuki-san to Takahashi-san to ishshoni Tokyo kara kimashita. I and my wife will go to the school with our son. So now with our son, this will be connected with to ishshoni because it's with son. And I and my wife will be connected using the to particle. So let's see how it goes. Watashi to tsuma wa musuko to ishshoni gakko e ikimasu. So watashi to tsuma means I and my wife. This is the topic followed by the wa particle. Musuko means son. One's own son is called musuko. So that's why watashi no is not needed. Musuko is already implying it's their child. So musuko will be followed by to ishshoni gakko e ikimasu. Gakko is school, e ikimasu. Watashi to tsuma wa musuko to ishshoni gakko e ikimasu. I sleep together with my son and daughter. Watashi wa musuko to musume to ishshoni nemasu. Very simple. Watashi wa musuko to musume. That is son and daughter. My son and my daughter. So we sleep together. So watashi wa musuko to musume to ishshoni nemasu. I sleep together with my son and daughter every night at 10. So the same sentence has been extended with some additional information. Every night means maibang, and at 10 is jujini. So watashi wa maibang jujini musuko to musume to ishshoni nemasu. And finally, the last example for today. My father went to the bank with my mother and my wife. So it will be chichi. So we need not write watashi no chichi because chichi itself implies it's my own father. So chichi is not used for someone else's father. So watashi no chichi doesn't make any sense or doesn't give any additional meaning. So chichi, just chichi. My father is chichi and my mother is haha. So chichi wa haha to tsuman to ishshoni ginko e kimashita. So my father went to the bank. So my father is the topic. So chichi wa went to the bank. Ginko e ikimashita with my mother and my wife. So he went along with two persons. So that's why haha and suma will be connected using the to particle. So haha and suma, and this will be in bracket, and both will be applied to ishshoni. So the same concept. Chichi wa haha to tsuma to ishshoni ginko e ikimashita. The past tense of the verb ikimasu. So since my father went to the bank. So friends, that's it for today. We discussed a very important and interesting tight topic, to ishshoni, and we saw different combinations and different ways of combining the persons who is going with, and the usage of the to and wa particles to give that appropriate meaning as required. So that's all for today, friends. Thanks a lot for watching this video, and we shall be back soon with the next lesson, that is lesson number 94, in which we shall introduce adjectives of Japanese. So that is going to be another very, very important lesson. So don't miss that. And till then, goodbye. Arigato gozaimasu. Mata imasho.